Not as much has changed in the world of Mount & Blade since 2010's Warband as I might have expected. But when I get into one of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord's pitched battles and charge through an enemy infantry formation while gleefully swinging my sword like a champion, it honestly feels like maybe what wasn't broken didn't need fixing. Sure, it's not the most polished of experiences, hence the early access launch, but its exciting tactical combat and gorgeous sandbox campaign map full of new lands to win and new characters to meet feed my deep, burning need for a nitty-gritty, intimate take on medieval-ish warfare. Bannerlord's graphics are the most immediately impactful improvement from its decade-old predecessor. Look at this stunning map and the way it allows you to scroll completely seamlessly from practically right over your character's shoulder all the way up to a high-level strategic view where you can decide whether to raid caravans, fight as a mercenary for a powerful lord, or even found your own kingdom. The lighting, textures, and terrain are all impressive, and the level of detail really makes me feel like I'm in a living world. The interface has also been drastically improved. The character models and armor textures are pretty slick as well, even if they do seem a few steps behind the current generation of blockbusters. It's visually pleasing, well organized, and easy to work with when you're organizing your troops or unraveling the intriguing political web that binds each of the 8 major factions. However, there are certain things that don't have tooltips, which I wish were better explained, and there's a significant amount of lag when switching between menus that kind of gets on my nerves. But it's still such a huge step up from Warband's janky interface that it feels like a big breath of fresh air. Not everything else about Bannerlord does, though. For something that's been in development for about 8 years, there's still a surprising amount of jank on display. Especially early on, before you get to the really good stuff, it's easy to get the feeling that you're just playing Warband with better graphics. Targeting and interacting with items and characters in towns and on battle maps is still imprecise and sometimes unresponsive. And there are some weird design decisions, like the fact that you have to wait through 3 loading screens to do something really simple like initiate a battle. One to speak to the enemy commander, one to load back into the world map, and one to actually start the fight. Even on an SSD with relatively short load times, that can get irritating. But the battlefield is where precision matters, and that's where Bannerlord delivers. The hitboxes on weapons and soldiers are impressively realistic, creating a high skill ceiling and a welcome sense of authenticity. You can have a spear thrust miss between someone's shoulder and their helmet, and it's always clear why the blow didn't connect. This forced me to develop a good sense of timing and muscle memory to consistently get clean kills, which is a way more satisfying sense of progression than just putting points into a skill tree. I still don't love the 4-directional parry system. We've seen that same thing done better in other games recently, and the lack of a stamina mechanic can make one-on-one duels spammy and annoying, but at least I could strap on a shield and never really have to worry about it. Battles also feature smoother animations and much better unit AI than Warband. The new command interface is clean, readable, and makes it very easy to form control groups and give specific, detailed orders. The tactical options available are broad, and executing them is relatively painless, which is much more than I could say for Warband. I did run into some significant performance issues and stuttering on larger battles, and especially sieges, but it's been getting better with the almost daily patches Tailworlds has been releasing. The biggest new systems are the clan and kingdom screens. Your clan includes your family and retainers, which can include a spouse and eventually children who can grow up and fight. If you join or end up ruling a kingdom, you can make changes like setting new tax laws, as long as your vassals approve, of course. The vassal management system is a bit clunky and unwieldy, and mostly involves getting other lords on your side by tracking them down and earning their favor by picking the correct dialogue options, but there's a chance you'll fail based on your charm stat even if you say all the right things. That's just annoying. This is one area that could definitely use some more love before Bannerlord is ready to cast off its early access label. As is typical of an early access game, I've heard a lot of horror stories about weird and even game-breaking bugs out in the community, but mercifully, I haven't been the victim of many serious ones so far. I've hit a few irritating video and audio glitches here and there, of course. Reloading a save once caused some troops I recruited to mysteriously disappear. I also ran into a consistent crash bug when I tried to launch a siege after taking over as the siege leader from another character. Thankfully, the patches have been coming quickly and relentlessly, and there seem to be fewer technical issues every time I boot Bannerlord up. It's easy to focus on all the ways Mountain Blade 2 is still stuck in a rut starting out, but Bannerlord is an onion with lots of new layers to show once you really start to dig into it. Especially for an early access game, it's ambitious and reasonably well polished, even if it still has a long way to go. And with the huge graphical and general usability improvements, a latter-day rehash of Warband, one of my favorite games of the last decade, isn't even a bad thing by itself when you get right down to it. For more on Bannerlord, check out the first minutes of gameplay, and for everything else, stick with IGN.